Namaskar. Welcome to Choice Insurance Broking India Private Limited's first maiden podcast. And my name is Satheesh Kumar. I am the Chief Technical Officer for Choice Insurance. And with me is our esteemed guest, Hari Radhakrishnan. To those who follow insurance industries, literature, writings, etc., on various platforms, including LinkedIn, etc., Hari is a well-known name. He is considered as a thought leader. His writings on LinkedIn are very, very insightful and they are very engaging. I'm sure he has a huge fan following, and I'm sure that none of you actually need an introduction to Hari. This is going to be the first of a series of podcasts that we intend to have. And today being the first podcast, we have decided to talk about a topic which is extremely relevant in modern times. पिछले 5 साल से जितने भी इंटरनेशनल CFO मीट्स हुए हैं, जितने भी वर्ल्ड ऑफ रिस्क्स की लोग जो मीटिंग्स किए हैं, उसमें बार बार ये नजर आता है कि साइबर इंश्योरेंस इज द बिगेस्ट थ्रेट दैट बिजनेसेस एंड एंटरप्राइजेस आर फेसिंग इन द मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड. So much so that cyber insurance, cyber risks, cyber threats are considered even bigger than climate change, which by itself is a very big thing. And वो जमाना गया जब लोग सोचते थे कि फायर इंश्योरेंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि फायर जब होती है इट्स वेरी डेंजरस, फ्लड इंश्योरेंस इज वेरी वेरी कैटास्ट्रॉफिक एटसेट्रा. टुडे आई थिंक मोस्ट CFOs, most enterprise risk managers are aware that cyber is perhaps the single biggest threat facing businesses over the last 5 years and for the next foreseeable few years also. And there's a lot of talk about that. Cyber insurance, even right now as we are talking, large corporations like, for example, Jaguar Land Rover, the Tata Group flagship company, has had its production completely disrupted because of a cyber threat. People who have been traveling in Europe also know that European airports, including Heathrow and a couple of other airports, their entire passenger onboarding system has got derailed because of cyber. So cyber is very much real. It's very much happening. And I'm sure most of you might have heard that there is something called cyber insurance. लेकिन काफी लोग शायद जानते नहीं है कि cyber insurance exactly होती क्या है. And we will talk about that from our learned expert, Hari Radhakrishnan. Hari, your views on cyber?
Yeah, the cyber insurance has become more prominent these days because the assets of the company have shifted from physical assets to digital assets. And Satheesh, you are talking about Jaguar Land Rover because it's very interesting. Because it is a car manufacturing company, so it's a old world, old economy company. And how can it suffer a cyber attack and be out of operation for weeks altogether?
It's been more than a month and a half.
Yeah, and I believe the UK government has given a guarantee so that it can raise 1.5 billion pounds and to ensure that it can stay afloat and meet its commitment. Because these days everything is so interconnected. Like if there is a retail store, there is another example of Co-op, which is another UK company. So they are all totally dependent on cyber applications. So you have merchandising, you have inventory control, you have point of sales, you have online sales, you have offline sales. Everything is through the internet. And if something goes wrong and if it is shut down, then you cannot shift to a manual mode of operation.
It's become impossible now.
It has become impossible because आप store पे जा रहे हो और people are writing bills, handwritten bills. पुराने ज़माने में it's not going to work out for the simple reason that nowadays everything has a barcode. You go there, you scan it, and then the bill gets generated on the computer. You pay and go within a flash of maybe a few minutes. And if somebody writes down all those things and calculates and use a calculator, find out the total, it will take hours. So you don't have that much of time. And even if you want to do that, you don't have that many counters or number of people to manage that. So the only option is you can't do it. So you will have to shut down. So this is what has happened with these companies. Probably they underestimated the magnitude of the cyber risk exposure they were exposed to. And I believe JLR and Co-op didn't have a cyber insurance, and they have suffered losses of hundreds of million pounds.
And that is actually surprising because JLR being a part of the house of Tatas, one would have assumed that their robust insurance program would have covered this eventuality also.
Yeah, I heard they were evaluating purchasing a cyber insurance, but before they could purchase it, the attack had already happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about cyber insurance. What exactly does the policy cover? So supposing I am a mid-sized businessman running a company with about maybe 500 crores turnover, and there is an event that cripples my business. What are the kind of losses that I could suffer, and which of those losses are going to be picked up by the cyber policy?
See, it's an omnibus policy. I mean, it has a lot of covers. So it is a combination of first-party cover and third-party liability cover. So first-party cover means the loss that you as the insured suffers, which might include the damage to the equipment or the system restoration, or if there is a hacker who has hacked into it and he is asking for ransom, you have to pay that guy to get the decryption keys and all that. Then you have...
So the policy also pays ransom costs?
Yes, it pays for that. And then you have business interruption. Like in case of JLR, it is shut down for so many weeks. So you will be having lost revenues. So that the policy will pay. Then you will have third-party liability also, because you will be handling customer data. For instance, JLR will have data, breach of data. So the hackers have got access to personal data of your customers. So you have to compensate the customers for any loss of emotional distress or mental distress.
Loss of credit ratings.
Credit ratings, you have to institute credit
So the
monitoring.
cost involved in reaching out to the customer to inform them that there's been a breach of data.
So that is provided in the regulations itself, because when you can't keep quiet, okay, the customer is not going to know, so I don't have to do anything, let him find out by himself. That's not an option.
Oh, so that's very interesting, because I think world over now, DPDR rules are in place.
So they have become very strict. So once data breach has happened, so there is a legal obligation on you to inform the affected parties and offer the services that they need. So there is a host of coverages. All those things are combined together. Some are immediate, like short-term losses, which you need to incur immediately. And sometimes losses are ongoing losses, like business interruption or credit monitoring.
Just a minute. When you say business interruption loss, what exactly are we talking about there? Is it similar to the business interruption policy sold for property, loss of gross profit, or is it loss of something else? What is it?
It's very similar to that. It's a loss of gross profit. Anything which you save in terms of variable costs, that won't be paid. Other than that, revenue less variable costs is what generally gets covered.
A little while ago, you also said that the host of covers that are available. I know that also a lot of insurance companies offer cyber insurance policies.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if there are 32 companies operating in India today in the life space, probably 20 or 18 are offering cyber policies.
Yeah.
Are all these policies the same? Are they standardized wordings, or are there subtle variations from company one to company two?
Yeah, there can be variations, because most of these wordings are not developed in India.
Okay.
And some of them they have borrowed from their joint venture partners or reinsurers. So much of these wordings are developed in the Western market, and those have been adapted to the Indian market usage. So cyber insurance across the world, there is no such thing as a standard product. There can be variations. So when you say something is covered, the actual coverage could be different. between one company and the other. So it's like it's so important to understand that you shouldn't go by the title of the coverage, but what is actually covered.
So although multiple companies may all call their product as a cyber insurance policy,
Yeah.
effectively what you're saying is that the policy wordings offered by one company could be slightly different or significantly different, and any person who's buying it must first be careful enough to understand what the differences are before
Yes.
concluding a sale.
Very true.
Okay. How long has cyber insurance been sold with? It's a fairly recent product.
Yeah, probably a decade or so. It's not a very old product, and it is still in the evolving stage. So the coverages keep getting added. So it is getting more versatile. Earlier, the social engineering attacks were not there as part of the coverage. Now that has come in. So many, depending on the evolving cyber risk landscape, the wordings also are getting improved.
Okay. So, and I'd like to understand also, especially from a mid-size business or slightly more than mid-size, but not those large corporations, what are the kind of premium rates that are prevailing in the market for cyber today?
The premium rates are, it's an expensive product, and to start with, the premium rates can be 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs in that range for maybe $3 or $4 million of coverage. Not only that, the deductibles are also high. The deductibles could be in tens of thousands of dollars. So that means any loss up to 25 lakhs or 30 lakhs may not be.
So, I'd like to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
Between you and me, as people who are from the insurance industry, we speak a language, we speak a jargon, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you say deductible.
Yeah.
But since my intended audience, people out there watching us, may not understand what deductible is.
Yeah.
Can you simplify that and make it easy for a layman to understand what we are talking about?
Sure. So that means up to that limit, say 25 lakhs, any claim less than that, the insurance company won't be liable or they won't entertain. So only the suitability
Deductible is that amount which the policy holder must bears
for himself,
and the insurance company comes into play only for losses beyond
that, and for every loss beyond that also the first 25 lakhs is deducted. So there is a lot of amount which the insured has to retain to his own account for any loss event. So this means that there is a great deal of self-insurance involved in any cyber insurance proposal. So this also means that you should have a robust cyber security infrastructure for yourself.
Your IT systems must be
strong and robust, so that avoidable or preventable losses you are able to prevent. And you are going to the insurance company for protection only for those catastrophic or something which you couldn't have foreseen or which are of a high magnitude.
Moving slightly away from cyber insurance as a product. As somebody who's interacting with corporates who are looking at cyber proposals on an active basis, I'm sure you also interact with IT professionals, the head of the IT of a corporate, the chief information security officer. What do you see from their side as challenges when you talk to them about cyber insurance?
First of all, see, many of them are, I have found that they are not really aware of the cyber insurance possibilities, or probably they are under the impression, some of them are under the impression that if you have a robust, kind of cyber security infrastructure, then you don't need insurance because nothing will move through the defenses. But the fact remains that any defense can be penetrated.
It's interesting that you mentioned this because I remember, a couple of years ago, I was talking to a client, a very large client, turnover of upwards of 20,000 crores. And they were looking at cyber insurance. And we had this person from the head of IT who was called in to evaluate the proposal. And I remember at that time, the proposal, the premium that we quoted, the insurance company quoted was about close to 50 lakhs.
Yeah.
And he had a good hearty laugh. And I said, 50 लाख आप इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम दे रहे हो, उतना मेरा बजट बढ़ा दो, मैं गारंटी देता हूं कि कुछ नहीं होगा. Okay. And Director of Finance was quite shaken by that confidence with which he said. But इत्तेफाक से उसी वक्त सेल फोन पे एक न्यूज पॉप हुआ था पेंटागन में उस वक्त. So the Director of Finance asked him, are you saying that you're going to be stronger than Pentagon? अगर पेंटागन जो अमेरिका की सबसे पावरफुल गवर्नमेंट बॉडी है which takes care of the defense of the USA, अगर वहां पे साइबर अटैक होता है और आप कह रहे हो कि नहीं आप मुझे 50 लाख बढ़ा दो कुछ नहीं होगा, तो देन इत्तेफाक से सेल हो भी गया. द पॉलिसी वाज sold to that client, and I'm sure somebody in my audience is here who knows within 6 months of that they also had an event and they had to pay.
Yeah. See, another thing people forget is that the cyber insurance is not just about yourself, or cyber security infrastructure is not just about yourself. You have third-party vendors who are using your application. You have various other dependent control. You don't have any control over them. You can talk about your own cyber security infrastructure. Yes, everything.
Multi-finance authentication करूँगा, वो सब आप कर सकते हैं इंटरनल.
मैं सब कुछ करूँगा, but then how can you ensure that my vendor also does all these things? You don't know. So there also a cyber attack can happen which can travel to your system.
Very.
And then even if you have a great cyber security infrastructure, the fact remains that many of your employees may not follow the policy. So their security credentials can be compromised. Somebody can gain access to it and they can get into your system, beat the firewall and get inside. You can't do anything. So there are so many vulnerabilities involved, and all of it, it is impossible to prevent.
So मैं एक और सवाल पूछना चाहूँगा, which I'm sure my audience also would love to hear. Do you have any statistics? आपको कुछ आइडिया है कि इंडिया में कितने साइबर पॉलिसीज बेचे गए हैं और कितने क्लेम्स रिपोर्ट हुए हैं और कितने क्लेम्स सेटल हुए हैं?
ये कोई पब्लिक डेटा नहीं है, बिकॉज IRDA का जो स्टैटिस्टिक्स है वो तो टोटल लाइबिलिटी पॉलिसीज के ऊपर है,
तो सब एक साथ पास
है. But anecdotally, there have been reports of lot of
informal basis में
informal basis पे काफी losses report हुए हैं, and some brokers have also published some reports and all that. The minimum ticket size is itself is running into crores and all that. So
claims
के. So there are if you get a cyber claim, it will not be in a few lakhs. So you will get claims in crores only. So you have to be prepared for those kind of big losses when you buy cyber insurance.
For example, अगर कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में साइबर अटैक होता भी है, तो सबसे पहले मतलब जैसे उनको पता चलता है कि अटैक हुआ है, या तो इंटरनल सिस्टम से मालूम पड़ता है या फिर एक्सटॉर्शनिस्ट ने एक एक्सटॉर्शन डिमांड, रैंसम नोट, ईमेल कुछ तो भेजा है. तो द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई हैव सीन कॉर्पोरेट्स डू इज दे एंगेज अ लार्ज अकाउंटिंग फर्म फॉर डूइंग द फोरेंसिक अकाउंटिंग टू गो इनटू द डेप्थ ऑफ व्हाट हैपेंड. उसकी फोरेंसिक ऑडिट होती है, which itself typically costs anywhere between 50 lakhs to 1 crore.
Yes.
This is the initial stage.
Yeah.
फिर वो एक्सटॉर्शन डिमांड जो है उसको सेटल करना है, नहीं करना है, उसको नेगोशिएट करना है, वो दूर की बात है.
Yeah.
Then you also spoke of business interruption losses.
Yeah.
Other expenses.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Typically at least 1 crore तो होता ही होता.
Yeah. So I mean, just the incident response itself. I mean, you have not started paying anything, but the preliminary investigation, identifying the issues and then sorting all those things out, that itself will consume a lot of money.
तो वो तो अपनी इंटरनल responses हैं.
Yeah.
इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से कितनी सपोर्ट मिलती है इसमें?
See, insurance companies, there are two kinds of supports which insurance companies can give. One is the pre-underwriting stage. They can help you with vulnerability assessment, and they can tell you how vulnerable are you to a cyber threat, and so those kind of services they can provide.
Okay.
And secondly, at the time of claim, the insurance company can provide a restoration support. So they can, so if they have, you have a cyber attack and there is a ransom demand, so they might appoint consultants to negotiate with the hackers, because that is a specialized job. So you and I, we are not qualified, or we don't have
We
the
wouldn't even know where to contact,
how to contact, what to talk, how to talk, and all that we don't know. So there are
brings up one point, because most of these cyber attacks may not even happen from your own country. Yeah, they can happen from anywhere in the world.
exactly. So these there are specialized agencies or professional services who provide this kind of support.
Okay.
And they are qualified to do that, because sometimes the policy will make it a condition that the insurer should be intimated, and the nominated agencies of theirs only should be appointed. If you appoint somebody on your own and they do something, then the insurance company can reject the claim also. So those some policies go to that extent also. So it's very important to understand what the policy obligations are, and don't do anything at the time of claim which compromises your claim under the policy.
Very true. Very true. Okay. But your anecdotal experience has been that this is a useful product to buy, or is it just one of those fancy products that market में सब लोग बात करते हैं, और लेने के बाद फिर जब असल में कुछ दुर्घटना होती है, then we realize कि यार खर्चा किया है लेकिन इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से कोई सपोर्ट नहीं है. ऐसा कभी?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. क्लेम्स पे हुए हैं, होते हैं, and it's very useful. But some people, they feel that they can manage without insurance, because either the insurance is too expensive, or they feel that the cyber security of theirs is very robust, or they feel that they are not storing any customer data, they are not having any sensitive information. They can contain.
मैंने भी सुना काफी बार इंटरेक्शन के वक्त ये सुनने में आया कि हमारी खुद की सर्वर में कोई डेटा रहता नहीं, सब कुछ क्लाउड पे है, तो मुझे इसकी एक्सपोजर नहीं है, जरूरत नहीं है. व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दैट?
So yeah, that is what. So whenever you want to buy, whenever you make a decision to buy or not to buy, so this is what you evaluate. So if an incident happens, so what is the likely fallout? And when that happens, the fallout in terms of what is the monetary impact. So you feel that downtime and restoration, all those things you calculate and quantify it. You say that, okay, this is the impact, and I believe I can take it on my balance sheet. I don't need insurance. Fine, you are taking a calculated risk yourself. But many organizations don't have that capability to make that kind of assessment, because it calls for intersectional skills. So you need to have cyber security expertise, you need to have financial expertise, forensic expertise, all those things should converge. Then only you can make a financial impact assessment. So you need to have that financial impact assessment, and then you take it to your board or to your management. You say that this is what it is. I'm prepared to take it myself. Then you are not having any surprises at the time of any cyber attack.
Okay. So I think, can we conclude by saying that this actually is a very, very relevant policy?
Yes.
But that nobody should buy this policy without first understanding the entire implications of the policy.
Exactly.
The retentions, especially as you spoke about, and then be aware of the fine print, what are the policy coverages, exclusions, and your own internal IT systems robustness.
Yeah.
So yes, it is expensive, but it is worth taking a look at. And I'm sure most organizations must assess this, evaluate this, and then decide whether the policy suits them or not.
Yeah, definitely.
It was lovely talking to you.
Thanks, Satheesh. Thanks.